Hey YouTube, what is going on? It is Jax here back with another video, and today is going to be the classic PEKKA Bridgespam video. I'm going to be going over some replays that got me to top 77 in the world when I got here, 80th now, but that is why you'll see 77 on the thumbnail. Those don't mind the hog race replays, but I had some really good replays here against Z-Poke. Z-Poke is one I really want to go over because I have zero idea how this guy could possibly lose this matchup, but he did. Red Brightness is a very, very, very good player. He's got a couple top 30 finishes. And then we just have some other really difficult matchups right here. This Tesla drill deck, and then we have one against Lava. This one was probably the easiest matchup by far. And I kind of screwed him over in a really funny way that was very skillful. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Also, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to drop a like and a comment. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, and a subscribe if you haven't already. We've been growing super fast now that I've been doing daily uploads. It's nice to see some organic growth out of me. Most of these subscribers have come at least from CWA or Cashman or people like that. And last tangent, speaking of Cash, I need to give him a big congratulations for getting a creator code in the game. Make sure, if you don't already, to go ahead and plug in code Cash. I have code Sirtag plugged in, but we're going to go ahead and plug in code Cash just in case I buy something for the new creator. It's super exciting. Cash has been a good friend of mine for a long time, and he's like the first CR streamer I ever watched, so make sure to go and show him some love. I don't even know what is going on now. It's such a weird intro, but without any further ado, let's hop straight into the replays. Okay, so the first one here is against Red Brightness, if my phone will ever load, and he runs Giant Skeleton Clone. So this matchup used to be a lot more difficult. With the Barbs and the Hunter variation back a couple months ago, PEKKA players still were running Poison, and that matchup was nearly impossible. So he goes in for a Furnace to start off, and I just go in for a Ghost. I didn't want to do anything where the Ghost might be able to whiff on top of the Fire Spirit, so we just kind of let it go. And the Ghost gets on top, and he's going to go in for a Mother Witch. I kind of just zapped the Furnace. I was trying to see that interaction work so that the Ghost would take one less hit, but the Furnace still had like a sliver of HP, so it didn't really work. I go for a Bandit all the way in the back. Piggy does get a nibble, but that's not terrible. We're able to go in and just peck it towards this Giant Skeleton. And we do have our Magic Archer and our Fireball in hand, so this should be a pretty easy defense, especially considering it's single elixir. My plan is going to be to Magic Archer in the middle, just to prevent any clonage from happening. If he went, and he didn't actually do anything, he just played a Cannon Cart. So I just saved the Magic Archer and go with one in the back, so that if he goes in, he won't be able to really support it very well. So Magic Archer is just going to be chilling right there. And he goes for a Flying Machine to kill my Royal Ghost, which is fine by me. What I plan to do is I plan to protect the Magic Archer from the Flying Machine. And we don't actually, but I E-Wiz. And so we retarget the Flying Machine, and then we also kill his Skeleton Barrel with that E-Wiz spawn. E-Barbs come down. What I do is I zap there, so now the Magic Archer is on top of the E-Barb in the tower, and the E-Wiz doesn't get targeted. That's going to allow the E-Wiz to do a lot more damage to the Barbs, and it's much more beneficial for me to have the E-Wiz alive, stunning them, than for me to have the two Barbs alive, or not getting targeted by the tower. And the Magic Archer puts in a ton of damage as well, whether it's through the E-Barb chip or just right onto the tower. Very, very nice start right there. So I go in for a Bandit, and this Fire Spirit, I dislike the Fire Spirit interactions because the Fire Spirit almost always jumps, even if the Bandit dashes under it. That time it didn't, but he also gets a Piggy out of the Bandit. I don't think I elect to Royal Ghost yet. I didn't want to waste my Royal Ghost because I didn't want to give him the counter push. Royal Ghost can still be useful even defending a clone push. So he goes for a Skeleton Barrel in the back. We go for our Ghost opposite lane just to kind of apply a little bit of passive pressure, also to make sure I'm not bleeding. Go for a Magic Archer. He goes in for a Clone, so I just zap and kill the cloned Cannon Cart as well as the cloned Giant Skeleton, because the cloned Giant Skeleton can actually push the PEKKA forward and get on tower, and that's happened to me way too many times. I really don't like that, so I made sure I just zapped that immediately. I was fine. I could E-Wiz late. PEKKA would take care of the normal Giant Skeleton even with the Cannon Cart, no problem. So I go for a Bandit, and then I go for a Magic Archer. We have two Magic Archers down, and then he goes in for a Cannon Cart in the back, and since he goes in for a Giant Skeleton here on top of the Bandit, I just PEKKA. We're going to base race him. He's way too low on Elixir, and I can actually still defend this push just by Battle Ram kiting if I really need to, and then going in for a Bandit on top of the Cannon Cart. There was no way I was going to lose here, and he should have E-Barbs. He definitely needed to E-Barbs right there. If he had E-Barbs, I think he would have been able to win this game. Piggy comes out of the Mother, pulls the PEKKA back. The PEKKA almost getting on top of itself, like almost going all the way back. I go in for a zap though. Cannon Cart is going to die. PEKKA's at like 2 HP. He has nothing he can play there, and that's going to be a good game. PEKKA takes it right before she dies. We were in a really good position, though. We probably still could have just spammed him right after, and I hit reset. No, go quickly. I don't want to reset. All right, sorry about that. So the next replay here is going to be against Zpoke, who, like I said earlier, I had zero idea how he lost this matchup. I played this guy on my stream yesterday, and he beat me and he BM'd. So just a fair warning, there is quite a bit of king laughing. I found this match incredibly funny. So I know what he was kind of playing. I wasn't exactly sure. My memory had kind of failed me. I knew he was playing some sort of Goblin Drill wall breakers with recruits and Ewas. That was all I remembered. But this dude had Bandit, Ghost, and Dark Prince, as well as an Ewas and a Fire. This matchup is a living nightmare. There is literally no way he should be allowed to lose this. Like, there's literally, you should not have any reason to lose this. The only way you can possibly even come close is by giving my Magic Archer value. Even then, everything else, you have recruits for my P.E.K.K.A, Ewas, Ghost, Dark Prince, Bandit, all of that, plus a Firecracker that's almost like a Magic Archer on his side because it's so hard for me to kill her. Like, this guy definitely, it's a bit awkward for him to be losing this. So he goes in for a Ghost right here. So I P.E.K.K.A in the middle to pull the Bandit. I was just going to let this Bandit go and charge through both of those and do her thing, but since he goes with the Wall Breakers, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So he goes in for a Drill, and this was a decent play by me. So that I Fireball this Drill once it dies, and the P.E.K.K.A still takes some damage, but we do force out a Dark Prince, which is really useful considering Dark Prince is going to be one of his best answers. The Ghost is much easier to overwhelm. Dark Prince is harder to get through because it has like more HP, better DPS, and it has the shield. So also the Ghost hits a lot slower, which is really helpful. So just let it die, get the Ghost off right after so we don't take any charge. Go for an Ewas. I tried to Bandit up here, but I didn't Bandit. I didn't Bandit correctly. She didn't dash onto the top of the Ewas. So I just go with a Zap right there to try and zap this Ghost and make sure that everything stays alive there. So we get our Barb and a Bandit on top of tower, and it's going to be tower down. I knew he was just a little bit low, and I had to capitalize. If I didn't take this tower here, I was not going to take it the rest of the game. There's no way I'm breaking through a double. And that was a nice zap to retarget the tower onto the Barbs. The only way that could have been better is if I had not screwed up the... I'm trying to think. I'm distracted because I look back down. If I hadn't screwed up the Bandit, that's what it was. So we go in and counter his push. He gets a lot of damage, but now we're just going to be playing kind of in the same lane. He goes in for recruits. I just go in for a Magic Archer, and then I go in for a Magic Archer to the side. So it's killing this Bandit. It's killing, like, the Wall Breakers. I just zapped the Wall Breakers, and now he's 2 low on Elixir to support this. We had a really clean defense. That left lane push really needed to be what won him that game, and he executed it horribly. So very little damage, if not any damage from that side. We just tank here. I'm fine taking some Bandit damage, and the Magic Archer is still there perched. It's going to turn around. Ghost goes and kills everything, and I start the King Laughs. King Laugh after King Laugh after King Laugh after King Laugh. So I get a plus 37 off of that too, which is really nice. You like to see those trophy gains right there. And yeah, so that was a really nice game. And then I had a draw against Phenofighter. I had a lot of draws today. I faced quite a few friends on the ladder. So the next game here is against Cyrus Hate. I don't know what that means or what is trying to say there, but his clan name is obviously Cyrillic. I don't know if that's Russian or if it's something else, but it is Cyrillic. So I assume it's from that area. And he goes in for a Bomber, and then he goes in for a Tesla right as I bet on him. So right here, I'm like, okay, Magic Archer's going to get value in the Tesla. If it hits the Bomber once, then my Ghost one-shots it, and then I can go for a Bandit right here. This Bandit was, I didn't think that far ahead. Like, I wasn't already planning that Bandit when I Magic Archered. But then when I saw that I killed the Bomber and stuff, and he wasn't protecting the Tesla immediately, then I was like, okay, yeah, definitely need to go in and try and get some damage here. I was pretty sure he was playing something along the lines of this deck. I wasn't sure, like, all 8 cards, but I knew he had, like, Tesla, Fireball, and Valkyrie, which is so difficult to break through. The only way this matchup could be really worsened for me is if this guy had a Firecracker, but he doesn't have a Firecracker, thankfully. And so it's not good, but it could be worse. It could be worse if he had a Firecracker. So he goes in for a Princess over there. And now I'm trying to hover my Fireball for the Tesla. I want to hit the Princess and the Tesla. And turns out we can actually hit the Tesla and the Ghost. Not the Ghost. We can hit the Tesla, Tower, and Princess. I don't zap these skeletons. it just wouldn't have been a good idea. Like, you need to predict zap right there, or else the Pekka is just not going to get enough value to really justify that zap. So I go in for a Magic Archer here. I go in for a low bandit here. I go in, let the bandit kill everything. Bomber's going to get a hit that's kind of unavoidable. And then I go in for a bad battle ram here. But he kind of panics. He should have just gone like Valk, Fire Spirit in the middle and everything would have been fine. But instead he goes Valk off to the side and then tries to counter my battle ram down low with that Tesla. He should have just Valk, Fire Spirited. And I should have battle rammed opposite lane to split up his push there. It would have been much better. Actually, it probably wouldn't have been much better. It would have been much better if he had ended up going Valk, Fire Spirit like I thought he would. But he did not. So I just go in for a Magic Archer, I think, here. Do I go in? Not yet. I don't go in yet. I just go for an Ewiz in the back. So he goes in for a drill, and then I just go in for a Magic Archer in the back because I want to try and kill this drill without taking too much damage. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to do so because drill is the drill. But now since he used his Fireball, he used his drill, he used his Princess right there as I Pekka. He has nothing to punish my Pekka in the back. This is a prime time opportunity, one of the best that I'm going to get to not just win the game right here, but to take at least control of the tempo. So I pre-zapped the skeletons late. That was like not enough reaction time for me to like reacted to those skeletons, but I did pre-zap them like just right as they were played. So Magic Archer is going to come in and actually get some decent value, and I thought I could break through because the Magic Archer kills the Tesla, and then we're also able to go in for a Fireball, and he Fireballs that, but he gets down the Valkyrie in time. And unfortunately, that ends that push right there. So I go in for a Ghost. I don't go for it all the way at the bridge because the Valk would survive one Ghost hit. I go for it a little bit lower because it won't survive a Ghost hit plus the tower. Go for a high Magic Archer here. And then I just Pekka here. And we do get the Magic Archer on top of this drill, but we're still taking so much chip damage. He goes in, Magic Archer gets a shot on top of the Princess. I don't want to deal with that Princess. We're just going to take her out right there. I could have maybe kept her alive so that I could have used her to counter push with a Bandit. But I just didn't really want to. So he goes in for a Bomber. I go in for a Magic Archer, and then he goes in for a Goblin Drill again. So I need to go for an Ewiz. And at this point, I was like, this game is definitely over. But he goes in, and now he's overcommitted just a bit too much. He has a Tesla in cycle, but look at this Tesla placement. That's not good. That Tesla's just going to get immediately overwhelmed. We're going for a Bandit. He's really low on Elixir. Ewiz kills the Bomber. Bandit's going to dash to the Fire Spirit, but she's still alive. We go in for a Zap, and everything's on this tower. Fireball comes down, but it would have been too little too late. I think he only hit the Ewiz there, too. That's going to be a good game. Came from what looked like an inescapable deficit, but we were able to just kind of spam. And that was like... He was really low on Elixir, but I didn't realize just how low on Elixir he was. Like, I knew he was low. I didn't know he was, like, critically low, just, like, if he was, like, getting ready to lose the game. I thought he was going to be able to defend that, but luckily, we were able to take the win against a really difficult matchup. I probably won't beat that very often. So, next up, we're against Star Spooky. He runs a nice Lava Bait deck. I played this guy plenty of times. I know what he's running. And... So I just go for a Bandit in the back, and he goes for a Gang all the way in the back. And so based on my mechanics, I know that the Gang is going to line up. So I just go in for a Magic Archer right there, and I quick drop a Battle Ram by placing it on the same area. I drop the Battle Ram, I drop the Magic Archer first, and then if you quick drop something in the same lane right after, you drop. So let's see. I can go and actually demonstrate this in a trainer battle for you. I'm going to do that in a trainer battle because it's useful to replay it, and then we can just fast forward once we get back. So let's go to the training camp. This is like a pro tip that if you didn't know how to quick drop, you can do it, and it helps you keep your cycle aligned. So what I could do is, let me get my E-Barbs in cycle real quick. Actually, wait, no. Wait, this is a bad deck to demonstrate this with. Okay, basically what you do is you would go ahead and drop E-Barbs. So let's say I want my E-Barbs to go in front, but I want to get my Mother Witch back and cycle faster. I'll go Mother Witch, and I'll quickly drop E-Barbs as soon as I can in the same spot. If the E-Barbs were a normal troop, it would push the Mother Witch behind like I did with that Magic Archer and Battle Ram, and I would end up being able to go ahead and put the E-Barbs in front. So we'll go ahead and exit out of the training camp match. Just thought that was useful to share because I've done it a few times but I haven't highlighted it, and I think if you guys know about it, could really help improve some of your gameplay so that you can drop quick cards faster while also getting them back and cycle faster. So we can go ahead and get fast forward to where the tower goes down. My cycle was really weird. I needed to take this tower here because if I take the tower, then I'm looking really good. He starts spamming well played, which is understandable because that was a pretty low skill play, and I knew I could do it because of his deck. But he's playing Lava Hound, so I mean, no matter how low skill I am overall, I would hope that I'm the higher skill player, higher skill deck. And I guess this deck is pretty difficult to play, but I still think it's not very incredibly skillful. So he goes in for an Inferno Dragon all the way in the back. and I'm hovering my Zap for the Scar Army. I know he's got Scar Army, so I go in for the Zap, and then I try and Fireball this Inferno Dragon. And if the Inferno Dragon had actually had to lock on just a bit later, I could have gotten one more P.E.K.K.A hit, and that would have been the game. As it is, we still have 1700 damage to get off his King Tower, and he's got a massive push coming at me. This could get scary really quickly. The best thing for me to do is to Magic Archer, but he goes for a Miner. If he had predicted that Magic Archer's like actual placement, I would have been screwed. That would have been the game. We can go for an Ewis on top of the Inferno Dragon just to make sure it doesn't get too much value. In hindsight, I should have played it on the Balloon, but we do end up keeping our tower alive, and now we have a 3-unit counter push coming back at him. This is definitely this is like an 80% chance of it being game here. As long as I don't screw it up, then it's going to be good. So the only way I could have not had a game situation there win is if that Ewis had gotten targeted by the King Tower. As it is, Ewis locks onto the King Tower. We have the Bin and the Barb tanking. Magic Archer is going to come in, and that's going to be a good game. And he doesn't emote again. I respect him because we've never BM'd each other. But yeah, he did have to send the well played because of my very skillful Magic Archer battle run push. Anyways, those are the replays that got me into the top 100 on ladder again. Gonna be trying for a top 200 finish, and then I'm probably just gonna stop really trying to improve with P.E.K.K.A. I'm probably just trying to attain this level and also go in for a lot more content for you guys over the summer on that grind. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I will see you in the next video. You have a great rest of your day. Peace.